And in comes Pat Cummins from the far end. He bowls to Stokes, who hammers it for 4! And stands there with the bat raised. I can't believe we've seen that.
That is the most extraordinary innings ever been played by an Englishman.
He punches the air, his helmet's off. He was hit on that helmet this morning. Bits flew off all over the place. And he slumped to his knees. One Australian's there, it's Lyon, I think, who knew he could have run him out. He's got his hands on his knees. He's feeling dreadful. One or two teammates go and pat him on the back. That won't help him. And there's shaking of hands, there's hugs there, and that is a fantastic sight, by the way. In the absolute heat of Ashes battles, there are hugs and embraces from Australians to the England batsmen. And a shake of hands to the umpire. Not sure if Nathan Lyon will shake Mr. Wilson's.
Well, that's an amazing innings from Stokes there. Anti-climax finish from an Australian perspective. I think the way that finish was poor, but Ben Stokes, absolutely incredible. Man of the match, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
I just don't understand how he's played that innings. It's absolutely amazing. I don't think he can believe it. He's standing there, he's just taking it in. He's got his hands on his head, and he's just looking around the ground.
To do that after as well, the World Cup, how he played that, to even... that innings happens once a lifetime. He's done 2 in 6 weeks.
He is an incredible cricketer. And he's showing his bat all the way around the crowd, who are on their feet, obviously. And the Australians down there are on their feet. They'll remember this. And Australia will come back to fight another day. There's still 2 test matches left. And the Ashes are alive. Tim Paine walks off, shaking Justin Langer's hand. Stuart Broad's out there. Jack Leach may not have never been hugged so often in his life. His glasses will be steamed up now, that's for sure. What an incredible day. And Ben Stokes is still out there. Like Johnny Bairstow's hugging him now. Well, if you're Ben Stokes, you wouldn't want to walk off, would you? You wouldn't want to leave this. The whole crowd on their feet. He waves to them, they cheer back. More hugs from another player there with his cap on. Can't see who it is from here. Has a very weary Stokes. I said he was hit on the helmet. He was hit all over his body. He's bowled goodness knows how much in this match as well. And he has just played the innings of his life. And as Alistair Cook said, the greatest innings by an Englishman. Did you say that? Do you mean it?
I do. And just the circumstances. How do you get 70? What do they get? 60, 70 in the last record like that? The last wicket in the pressure.
What do they put on?
76.
Stokes is leaving the scene. Is walking over the rope. He's shaking hands still. And he takes one last look, one last wave. How amazing. Whew. Well, listening to that rings you out again. Listening to that unbelievable day here 2 years ago to the day. Sun shining today, lots of people in, but crikey. Cookie, I don't think we'll ever experience anything quite like that again.
I don't know how you could. It was just the most extraordinary week, actually. I was Glenn McGrath's taxi driver. Me and him, I picked up Glenn McGrath and Jim Maxwell every day from the hotel. I kept looking in my mirror and sending pictures to Stuart Broad, because I think Glenn McGrath's Stuart Broad's hero. And I was like, I'm driving Glenn McGrath around. And we started laughing about it. But just listening to that again with that line, I tell you, what did he say? Something about if you use DRS properly, you win a test match. If you use it badly, it'll cost you a test match. And you just kept winding them up, didn't you?
I think I might have mentioned the fact they burned one off.
About 3 times.
But I don't know how you start to... Well, we've analysed that innings for so long, haven't we? But 2 not out from 70-something balls
to suddenly switch. I mean, that's the point. I mean, you batsmen, you have these sort of momentum and gear shifts, don't you? But I mean, to go from that to that,
I don't have that gear shift in me because I've got the first bit in me.
yeah.
I haven't got the. We just, as you're just saying, it's on TV as we speak, and I hope Ben's watching it. I actually hope he's sat here watched that 20 minutes because it was just amazing innings, amazing cricket. Just sit, look at that crowd, look at just watching the emotion and what cricket means to the public up here, and just watching the celebration. It was just, it's my first time I was in the commentary box for a Test match. I think that series. And
That's not a bad start.
It wasn't a bad start. And actually, Michael Vaughan, I said, no, you do that last bit. As he got close, he said, no, you get on. Just to be there. And I think the only thing I ever said was no, the whole time. And that run out with
which was just incredible because again, sitting up here. You do see things in a bit of slow motion sometimes, and because you see the whole picture, don't you? And you just see why did Leach run? Why did he set off? But Stokes was on his knees. He just on a reverse sweep. I mean, there was never a run there. What possessed him?
I don't know. But
Nathan Lyon and England had a bit of a love-hate relationship, haven't they, over the years? I don't think there have been too many tears shed at what happened when the ball came to him for the run-out. But it just shows, it doesn't matter how many years of experience you've got and how many times you've taken the ball and fielding practice, everything else, when your hands are hard and when there's some tension on, bang, that ball bounces out. I mean, he must have relived that every night for a month.
Well, in that video, Justin Langer made him, on the documentary, made them watch it that last 2 hours as a team together, and the day after, not even 2 days after, I think it was the day after, and geez, that must have been toughing for Lyon. Not only what he had experienced the last 24 hours, but then knowing that period was coming up and he had to watch it again, and just hit your hand, and you just think, how can it go so far away from your hand? Do you know what I mean? It's just gone that
hard, isn't it? Bang. It's interesting because there's a bit of pressure on Justin Langer at the moment, isn't there? A lot of talk over in Australia about his position, and a decision like that, when your team is shattered and they have been beaten like that, and there have been one or two ignominious mistakes made along the way. There's a drop catch. It wasn't an easy one down here. It's a hard call as a coach to make your team sit down and watch that.
Yeah, it wasn't. He might say it was the best thing we ever did because they won the next Test match, didn't they? And actually, that was one way of burying it. Like, once and for all, we're going to sit through the pain and agony as a team, and then we move on. And maybe that's the only way he could think we're going to do this, to get through it. Because obviously, imagine being in that dressing room that night.
Hideous.
Or that,
can't imagine it.
You had the Ashes there, won, done, sorted. And then Stokesy played that innings, but then you had chances. It wasn't if there was no chance whatsoever. He didn't give it a chance.
There's a lot of talk at the moment, isn't there, about one-day cricket and Test cricket and the impact that it has, and a lot of it from a negative perspective. All he can say from a positive perspective is there's no way Stokes could have played that innings without having played T20 cricket.
No. Without, there's no words I can say apart from I totally, utterly agree.
Yeah.
And that's why I think we've got to be really careful about Test cricket. And yes, there are less draws in it, but the run rates are higher. More things happen in a day's Test cricket in this generation than it ever happened before. The standard of fielding is a lot better. So, just because the game evolved, I think you have to involve your mind with it as well.
Yes.
That these can happen, and we've seen other chases recently in the last, not just in England, but a lot of 9-wicket wins. And the fear of chasing stuff now in Test cricket because of one-day cricket is totally different, isn't it?
I don't think I'll never see a game of cricket like that. I'm absolutely sure, and that coming so soon after the World Cup final, but. This was just on a different plane.
It wasn't. We were at the back of the box, weren't we? We had to be honest that when Broady got out, or actually when Chris Woakes got out, you said to me, "This is doom and gloom, isn't it? England have lost this game." And I agreed with you. I was like, we were talking.
It seemed impossible. It seemed an impossible thing.
And I think that's
73 for the last pair together. 73.
I know. And I think that's what it gives you hope for cricket, doesn't it?
Yes.
You can now win from any situation and in any kind of any position.
No, you're quite right. It was absolutely brilliant. Memories. Andrew Butcher. 2 years ago, my family and I were driving from Nîmes in the south of France to Lyon, where our next stop was on our long journey back to Chesterfield. After spending 2 wonderful weeks on the southern French coast, we stopped in Nîmes. While every other tourist had an audio guide in their ears, Test Match Special was playing out the unfolding drama in mine. As my 3 children milled around asking for debates, after having lunch we returned to the car and began the trudge up the A7. As Stokes' heroics unfolded, we were crawling through traffic jams and frustrated locals. When the winning moment arrived, we received many strange looks and puzzled glances as pandemonium ensued in the car. I was forced to slow down and pull over. My eldest son repeatedly asked if the radio was lying. No, we weren't lying. Did it really happen? It was a very strange journey. And I remember all those films that were taken. I think it was a beach in Cornwall that we were sent, where all these different groups of people were sitting and listening to the radio, but all listening to the same thing. And when it happened, you just saw all these different groups of people just leap in the air and punching a... It was incredible, and there will never be a time where we hear that without hair just going, ooh, standing up and bristling a bit. Graham Thompson, I remember that Ben Stokes Day. My brother, a few friends and I completed our annual cycling holiday. We were in Avignon and we're going to Girona. Having listened to bits of the first 3 days, I spent the whole Sunday walking the streets of Girona listening to TMS. We traditionally do an escape room in the finishing town, so I was handcuffed and blindfolded in a darkened room listening to the last 10 minutes of that innings on a phone that I'd smuggled in. I think Glenn McGrath might have wished he was blindfolded in a darker room, actually. I sat doing nothing but giving updates to my cricket-agnostic friends as they set about the escape. The moment Stokes won the test was just as they cracked the first clue and de-shackled us. Never has the Spanish woman watching the CCTV seen this moment of the escape being celebrated so keenly. They are happy memories, and I know you all have. And we have too, you know. I mean, I remember, as I was saying earlier, you were sitting actually where the Perspex is. I'm sitting in Glenn's seat, and you're sitting in mine. And we'll never an Adam behind with that extraordinary face of the run-out. That will live long in the memory.